Hi everyone, Decky Pipes here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at how to make interactive PDFs. So I've got a couple of examples of the interactive PDFs that I've created. So I teach GCSE A-level and Leaving Cert music, and a lot of the assignments that I give students in PDF form, I can email them PDF and it will have areas where they can type their answer like that. So it's quite simple and straightforward, and they can also listen to audio as well if they just click here. Okay, so it's very handy to be able to have control over the volume and be able to rewind and fast forward, and it also means that when the student is typing in their answer, they can scroll up and down the page and that audio box will just stay there. But of course they can move that around if they like, and resize it, do whatever you like I suppose of it. So you can also do that with past papers. This is from the Leaving Cert in 2021, and again the student can type their answers. And also play the audio by clicking that button. And it also works for things like multiple choice, so if the student has to select checkboxes anywhere, I think there's a couple of examples of it in this paper. Yep. So for example there, or they can select more than one, and of course they can uncheck the boxes as well. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we create a standard PDF into an interactive PDF? Well, the first thing that we're going to need is PDFelement. That's the one that I use, the program that I use to make the PDF interactive with these text boxes and check boxes and things like that. Unfortunately, it's not a free program. The license that I bought for it, was for just over about £100, but it's a lifetime license. I'll show you where you can get it online. You can get it every year for $70, but I just bought a perpetual license, for about $120, one-time price. And so that's the software that I use. If anybody knows anything that you can use for free, I'd be very interested in hearing about that. You can leave a comment down below. Let other people know about it as well. I know there are other programs that do this, like Adobe Acrobat, but I think that's a monthly subscription service that you have to pay for. But there may be other things out there that I'm unaware of, so please let me know. So that will make your PDF interactive like this, where you can the students can just select boxes and type answers and things like that. It does a whole lot of other things as well besides that, but those are the things that I use it for mostly. The other software you're going to need is Foxit Reader, and it's free. Okay, so just a PDF reader. You don't have to buy its full version or anything. All you just need is the wee Foxit Reader, and that's it. Okay. Now, that's what the teachers need. They need PDFelement or something like it, and Foxit Reader. Foxit Reader will allow you to put in audio and video into your PDFs for free, which is great. All that the students need is Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. That's all that the student will need. They don't have to buy anything really, unless they want to, of course, make their own interactive PDFs. But if they just want to carry out assignments that you've created, or past papers, or maybe you've made an ebook or something, and they don't need any fancy software. They just need this industry standard Adobe Acrobat Reader. Okay. So I've downloaded, I'll show you how I've done one of these. I've downloaded a PDF from the State Examinations Commission. This is where all the past papers are located for all the Leaving Certs subjects. So I've downloaded the recent one, 2021, for the music, because that's the one that I teach. And I'm going to open it up in PDFelement. As you can see, it's just a standard PDF. There's nothing I can type or anything like that. I think this is probably what most people are familiar with when it comes to PDFs. It's just a Yeah, standard straightforward PDF. Now what you can do is you can go over, once you've paid for this software and downloaded it, go over to form, click on form, and then up at the top there's a drop down menu, and underneath that there's form field recognition, and you just click that. The operation cannot be undone. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, continue. And it's done all the most of the hard work for you. I just deselect form for a second. You can hopefully be able to see, I zoom in a wee bit more, that those boxes are now interactive check boxes. You can see for students, and also they can type in their answers here and things like that. So it's literally just one click and most of it's done. It's not always 100% accurate. Sometimes it will put in text boxes or check boxes where you don't want them. So it is probably worth having a wee look through the document just to make sure everything is properly formatted. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a program that will allow me to draw the actual musical notation that they're looking for here. So things like that, it's still pretty limited when it comes to things like that. But for just typing in text or ticking a box or adding in drop down menus or things like that, or adding in radio buttons or list boxes, or anything at all, this is a great piece of software for allowing students to do that. But if anybody knows a software that will allow you to actually write in notation into a PDF, that would be very handy to know. So I'm just going to scroll down just to make sure everything looks good. There's check boxes, there's text boxes as well. Here, for example, you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 text boxes for just one answer. So what you can do is you can delete all that, and you can draw in your own text box, just one box. And I'm just going to do that for 5 of those lines. So now it's just one big text box. If I deselect form, and you can see when I'm about to start typing, it's going to start down here, and I wanted to start up here. So there's one more thing I have to do. Is double click on the box and go up here, fill in the background color just to get rid of the lines, and then make it multi-line. I haven't figured out a way to make that the default setting because I use that all the time. So when you start typing, it'll go from top down to the bottom, multi-line. So that should start typing up here. Yeah, so type your answer. Now, as you can see, if I was to paste that over and over and over again, you can actually see that a wee scroll bar appears here on the right, which is really handy. So it means that if the student goes over they don't have to, you don't have to create another text box for them. They can write as much as they want, but you can sort of give them an idea of the minimum amount of what you're expecting. And of course, if I was to get rid of the background, you can see that that it doesn't line up with the lines on the examination paper. You see the way the lines are sort of going through the words there and here and here. That's why I always fill in the box of the background color, just put it as white, just so that it's cleaner and easier to read. Okay, so of course you can make the font a lot bigger if you want. So instead of 12, 24. Okay. Just delete most of that. There you go. So maybe that's a better size. Okay, so that's the first part. You can just click on form, click the drop down menu and hit form field recognition, and it will basically just go through the entire document looking for any boxes or any long rectangular boxes, and any small boxes it will just automatically make them check boxes, and any of these long rectangular boxes it'll just automatically make them text boxes. But as you can see, it's given me 3 text boxes for this one answer. You may want to create a larger one yourself, and if you do, you just go up here to text field and just draw them as large as you want. You can put as many of them in as you like, and there's no limit. Okay, so that's that document more or less made interactive, but what I want to do now is add audio into that as well. So the student doesn't have to go and find the audio themselves. They just click on a wee audio icon and everything that they need will be available for them. Okay, so the first thing I want to do then is add an image of a wee audio icon next to this question, just so that the student knows to click on the audio icon. So you just select image, go up to add image, and I've already downloaded a wee PNG file from the internet, the audio icon. And when you add it in, obviously you'll need to resize it because it's sometimes most of the time they're not the right size. And I'm just going to make it probably about that big, put it next to the question like that. And that's just a wee image file that I am now going to put an audio into that, but I'm going to do that using Foxit Reader. So I'll just file save that first of all. There we go. Okay, so there's my PDF. It's interactive, and what I'm going to do now is make it more interactive by adding in audio. So I'm going to open it this time, not in PDFelement. I'm going to open it in Foxit Reader. Okay, you can still see those boxes are still interactive from PDFelement. And this is the only icon that I ever really use in this, is just click on that and then draw the box where you want to put your audio. Oh, it's asking me for updates. I'll do that later. Okay, so of course you have to have your audio ready for this. So as I said, this is actually downloaded from State Examinations Commission. This is their website, and they have all their exam papers and all the audio available for you to download. So I've just downloaded it from there, and I'm just going to browse my computer to see if I can put that in. Okay, so leaving cert music, past papers 2021. And there's question 1. Now you see that's looking for video files. It just does that by default automatically. I'm looking for video files first, but select audio files and you can put in WAV, MP3, MP4, anything at all really. So it's audio files I'm looking for. And now these have just come up as the audio files that are available. This is for question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. They can be as long as you like. They can be as large as you like. Bearing in mind, the more audio visual things that you put into your PDF, the larger the file is going to be. And if you make it too big, then you'll have to share it like through Google Drive or maybe Dropbox or something like that. When I'm in Zoom lessons with my students, Zoom is able to actually take very large files in the chat, I think up to about 512 megabytes. So for example, that MP3, just that MP3, that one MP3 is 36 megabytes big. Okay, so I wouldn't do it for really long PDFs and adding hundreds of MP3s. You're better splitting really large PDFs into smaller PDFs and then putting your audio into them that way. So split your larger documents into smaller documents, but for 6 audio files, that shouldn't be any trouble at all. Okay, so I just click OK. And that's it now active. And what I actually prefer to do is to get rid of the box. It's just automatically goes around it. So I just double click on that again, and then where it says style solid or width or anything like that, just click no border. And the border's not really there now. That's just the interactive field, that sort of light gray border. That won't come up in the PDF once you've saved this. That just lets you know that there is an audio file now that it's embedded behind that icon. And then just go to File and Save. Okay. So now when I open it with say Adobe Acrobat Reader, which is what the free app that all students can download from the Adobe website. Yeah, you should be able to see that when I click on this now, a little security thing comes up letting you know that, are you sure you trust this? Only enable these features if you trust this document. Well, considering you're the one who's making it, then yeah, just trust this document always. There we go. And now when I click on that, the audio file should play, and it'll be quite loud.
State Examinations Commission, Leaving Certificate Examination 2021. Music. Listening Examination.
Okay, so, and it's 25 minutes long, so that's probably why it's such a large file. And that's it really. There's not much more to it than that. So if you want to make your own assignments, that's pretty standard and straightforward as well. What you would need to do is, first of all, create your own document in Word. And say you want to make your own assignment or exam paper or something. Just say you have question 1 here. Okay. What you can do if you want the students to write on lines is just shift underscore. Okay. The reason being is that when it comes to using PDFelement, it will recognize that as an active field that it can put a text box in, and you can just take that and paste it as many times as you like. You know, so that's going to be question 1. Of course, you want the lines to be bigger. There we go. Spacing's 1.5 now. That's one way of doing it. Or question 2, what you can do is you can add a table in. Just 1 by 1, and then hit the return key and make the box as large as you like. Okay. So there's 2 ways of doing it. Let's save that and make it a PDF. Save it to desktop. And then save it as a PDF. Okay, here's the PDF that we've just saved. And what I want to do now is make that interactive. So I go to Form, go to the drop-down menu up here, and just click Form Field Recognition. Continue. And as you can see, you have slightly different results depending on whether or not you've used underscore lines to create your answers. And you can see that for each line, PDFelement has put in a text field. But if you've used the table, which is the way I do it quite often for small paragraph answers to questions, then you end up with one big large box. Okay. If you do it this way though, if I was to start typing in that, you'll see that the text is very big. Okay, so I obviously don't want it that size. I want my students to be able to write a paragraph, or as much as they like, really. So what I have to do then is go back into Form, double click on that box, and then make it multi-line, and also change the font size from auto so it doesn't fill the entire box to 12 or whatever size you prefer. Okay, so once I've done that, you'll see that when they start typing, normal size font. Okay, so it's really easy to create these interactive PDFs. And again, if you want to add in the audio and the video, you have to add in the wee images and then go into Foxit Reader and make those images interactive as well. So let's just try that to see. Add my audio icon. put it there, resize it to something a bit more manageable, copy and paste, and you see the way that it even lines up perfectly for you as well. It's a very useful program, PDFelement. Okay, then save that. Oh, sorry. Let's replace the one that's there. And then I open that PDF again with Foxit Reader. And now I can go about adding in my audio and video just like I did before. So just say I want to add in the audio again from the same location that I did before. Remember to select audio files because it'll automatically look for video first. You want to find audio files. Or in this case we do. There we go. You have to have your audio files ready to go. I'll make another video if you have large audio files that you want to chop up and how to go about inserting them into past papers and things. There we go. Let's just get rid of it. I don't really like the border around those boxes like that because they're never really the right size and they're always different from each other as well. So I always just go in and just hide the border because I think it just looks cleaner. Okay. And again, when we go into Adobe Acrobat Reader now with that PDF we just made, those guys should be ready to go. Yeah, I see the way that the cursor changes to the hand. The first time you click on it, you'll always get this security question. Are you sure? Do you trust this document? Because there's nothing really stopping someone from creating a document like this and then putting a virus or something in there. But if you're the one creating it, obviously you should trust your own creations. Just go to options, trust this document always, and it won't ask you that question again. And tell your students, of course, to trust it if you've made it, if you're the one doing all the work.
State Examinations Commission. Leaving certificate.
Yeah, so that seems to work okay. Yeah. And this one should work as well.
Question 2. There is a 20-second gap between each playing of the music.
Yeah, okay, it's working. Okay guys, hopefully that helps. Some of the questions you may have of how to create interactive PDFs. As I say, the main two programs you need, PDFelement to make these interactive boxes. It also does many other things, it's not just that. You can add in signatures and watermarks and add in more pictures. It's a very powerful program. And you can also use Foxit Reader, which is completely free. And all your students need to open those documents once you've made them is Adobe Acrobat Reader DC, which is what we're using here. So yeah, hopefully it gives you an idea of some of the things you can do. For example, you could make your own Word document, put in a picture, and then get students to type in answers based on the picture, like how many times do they hear this Ritornello theme, and they click on this little icon here to listen to the music. And yeah, so hopefully that helps. If anyone has any questions or suggestions or tips, if you want to leave a wee comment down below, or if you want me to make any more videos like this, just hit the like button and let me know, and I'll see you again next time.